Hey guys, Mike from my private library here. So it's been a while since I've done a comic update, but over the past couple weeks and months, I have been getting a lot of new books and stuff. So I'd like to update you guys, and that's going to happen across three new videos. The first one, this one, is going to be trade ups, books that I've had in previous formats that I've since traded up to get new formats. The second video is going to be paperbacks and standard size hardcovers, and the third video is going to be oversized deluxe hardcovers and omnibus, absolutes, stuff like that. So yeah, let's get underway. First up, Fire by Brian Michael Bendis. This is the new hardcover version of it. I previously had the trade version. I found it at like a discount bin somewhere, a little banged up. So I elected to get rid of it and trade up. And a nice, interesting series. This is Bendis' first breakout book, creator-owned wise. Interesting story. I know he said they're going to be adapting it into a movie, hopefully. And I'm excited that they're turning a lot of his creator-owned stuff. They're re-releasing it into these little hardcovers. So I'm excited for that. There's also a Goldfish, Torso, and Jinx, which just came out, I think, last September or October. So I'm trying to collect all those in these little hardcovers. And a little pricey, $20 for a small hardcover, but still a nice book. And if you're interested in Bendis, that's a nice book to have in your collection. Next up, Lost at Sea by Brian Lee O'Malley. This is the 10-year anniversary edition, which came out last year, or maybe 2013. Slightly bigger. It's the same size as the Scott Pilgrim color editions, with a little bit of extra back matter. You got some sketches and short stories from the same cast of characters from O'Malley that were not previously released. Other than that, it's basically the same book, the same color scheme with these pinks and blacks and whites, no real color. But still, if you like the first one, this is a nice little way to upgrade it. I guess you could consider this the deluxe hardcover. Still a really great story if you haven't read it. Next, Catwoman, The Trial of the Catwoman by Ed Brubaker. This is the first, I guess you would call, complete paperback collection of his run. There are three of these. I originally had just the first paperback, which now has gone out of print, and I decided to just trade up for these complete collections. And I'm excited to finally read his entire run. I've heard nothing but good things about it, so now I just have to pick up the other two complete collections in paperback whenever I get the chance. So now I'm sort of on the way. Okay. Then I have Deadpool by Brian Posehn and Jerry Duggan, the hardcover, oversized hardcover, volume 1, which collects issues 1 through 12. Very fun series if you haven't read it. And now it's a nice big hardcover, which the first 6 issues are by, the art is by Tony Moore, who's a pretty good artist, not really mainstream nowadays due to a couple things, but his art does look good on these big pages. And, the back image is one of my favorites, Deadpool with the shark. The actual hardcover doesn't have a picture, it's just these little Deadpool face designs on them. But still, I think the run is coming to an end now with issue 45, I guess for Secret Wars. So the second one is due out in June, so I'm guessing there's going to be one more after that, or 2 more to complete the run. Next, X-Men, Days of Future Past, the oversized hardcover by Chris Claremont and John Byrne and a bunch of others. This I picked up just because I heard a lot of good things. I have the original paperback, which I was looking at it today to compare. The original paperback has an issue or 2 of Uncanny X-Men, which is not included in this. It's leading right into Days of Future Past, and it's more of an introduction for Kitty Pryde. And they're actually not in this book, which, I guess they're really not necessary, but it was a nice introduction for the character right before the big thing happens. But this does have a bunch of other issues, including the Days of Future Present storyline by, I think, Louise Simonson, And I gotta say, this has got to be one of the best priced Marvel books you can get out there. This is $40 cover price, and I mean, considering the paperback I had was $20 for 4 or 5 issues, I mean, this is a steal. That cover price. There are books this size from Marvel that are. It's only slightly thinner than Infinity, which is $75. So, I mean, if you can find this and grab it, because this is a really good book to have. Okay. Now, Lazarus. This is the first collection, collecting issues 1 through 10, equivalent of the first 2 trades. Not sure exactly how long it'll take to get caught up for a second one. I know the 3rd trade recently came out. Might have been this week or last week, so I'm going to say maybe by the end of the year we'll see another one of these, but I could be wrong. Or maybe the beginning of next year. But yeah, a very fun series that I grabbed sort of impulsively by Greg Rucka and art by Michael Lark. So yeah, I opted out of the trades and got this nice deluxe hardcover instead. Same size dimensions as the Chew Omnivore editions and the Manhattan Projects Deluxes. And then another one with Michael Lark is Ed Brubaker's Scene of the Crime. This is one of his original graphic novels, or not graphic novel, one of his original stories. A really good crime noir story if you're a fan of his other stuff like Criminal, Incognito, Fatale. This is a really good story to have. And I have the original trade, and I actually have it autographed by Michael Lark, and I'm looking to get rid of it, so I decided to trade up to this beautiful looking hardcover. It's a little on the thin side for what you get. It's $25, but if you're a fan of the story and you're a fan of Ed Brubaker, I think it's worth having. Excuse me. Okay, next, one I'm probably most excited about, The Big Hard Sex Criminals, Volume 1, by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. I mean, how can you not pick this up? It's big and pink. It's got the nice, for mature readers on the back. And then this does have a dust jacket, unlike some of the other Image books I have. So the picture underneath, I mean, I just looked at it and I started hysterically laughing. It's a cover to a fake book called Down Boy. And it's about putting your dog to sleep. With, the fake names, the fake bio, the infamous Sears catalog picture. And, I mean, the art is beautiful and hilarious. Oh, I probably can't show that on YouTube. The art is beautiful and hilarious, as always. The back matter, you do have a little bit. Some of the stuff in there is what was collected in the first paperback. You got the alternate covers and stuff. And you do get, I think there's 1 page of sex tips, but definitely not the entire, just the tips. And there's a couple where Zdarsky talks about his art process, and then things you may have missed, like little Easter eggs he hid throughout. So, I mean, yeah, if you're a fan of the series, definitely grab this, and if you haven't read it yet, this is a great starting point. I mean, you're just going to love it. I'm so glad I picked this up, and I'm really so excited to see what happens next. Yeah. Okay. Next, Day Tripper, the deluxe hardcover from Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba. This is one of the first, I guess, indie comics I read, and I really fell in love with it immediately. And when they came out with the deluxe hardcover, I think it was a couple of years ago, I knew I had to get it at some point, but I always kept putting it off. So now that I actually have it, I'm so glad that I didn't wait any longer. This is definitely not something I would like to see go out of print before I got it. If you're a fan of their artwork on things like Casanova and Umbrella Academy, you know that their art is beautiful, and it just looks even better on these oversized pages. A really good, thought-provoking book from the two of them. And I got this nice little cover design on there. Nicely put together. It is a glued spine. But still, I like these Vertigo Deluxes. And actually, that's what my next acquisition is, right here. It's back. Yeah, if you're a fan of the series, definitely trade up if you can. And like I said, okay. Next up, Why the Last Man, the deluxe hardcovers, volume 1 through 5. I had the original thing in trades, so I decided to trade up for the hardcovers. And this is honestly one of my most favorite series ever. So good for anybody who read it, and it's just even nicer in these deluxe hardcovers. I'm not sure if they are going out of print. I don't think they're going out of print. Maybe the first one. They haven't been out for too long, but I know that they are now releasing, I guess, the equivalent of these hardcovers in paperback. They're coming out with paperback versions of them, just like they're doing with 100 Bullets. So I don't know what that speaks for, what the in-printness of them is. But yeah, these are really beautiful hardcovers. Guerra's art looks great. It's a really good story, and they are coming out with absolute editions in the next couple months, but I'm definitely going to stick with these. They're a little more reader-friendly, I think, because they're only slightly taller than a regular trade, whereas absolutes are a little unwieldy for some. And with that said, coming towards the end of it, first being the absolute Batman, The Long Halloween, one of my absolute, no pun intended, favorite Batman stories ever, if not absolute favorite. One thing if I had to suggest, people are often scared by absolutes because of their size and the cover price, which I understand. But if I ever had to make a case for an absolute, other than Absolute All-Star Superman, which I mean is one of my ultimate favorite stories from Grant Morrison, I would make the case for Absolute Batman: The Long Halloween in terms of go buy this, because for what you get, it's the most cost-effective Absolute you can get. $75 cover price for all 13 issues, whereas most Absolutes out there collect a lot less. All-Star Superman is, well, it's 12 issues, but it definitely doesn't look as big. Identity Crisis is 8 issues. I think Kevin Smith's Green Arrow is around 10. Most of them are short like that, and they're all $99 cover prices, whereas this is $75. And the only thing I noticed compared to my other Absolutes, this does not have a dust jacket. It has the slipcase right there, but it just has this nice matte cover. No dust jacket. Some art, but I mean, you know, Loeb's art is just beautiful on this. It, you know, it looks great. It's filled out. A lot of these pages don't have the huge border, and you know, the art really comes alive like this. I mean, it's really great. Like I said, if I ever had to make an argument for anybody to get an Absolute, it would probably be this one, just based on quality and price. I think actually not having the dust jacket is a little simpler, a little nicer. It's one less thing to worry about if you're worried about keeping them in good condition. So, again, I'm a huge fan of this series, and I didn't realize that it was so cheap, you know, $75 cover price, which still, that's a chunk of money, but well worth it. And then, last but not least, the Absolute Identity Crisis by Brad Meltzer. This series is one of my favorites, and I know it is definitely controversial, and it's not my favorite, I guess, for the reasons why it's controversial. I definitely agree that the storyline is controversial, but sadly it's one of the very few stories that involves my favorite character, who is Ray Palmer, the Atom. And he's really in a prominent role here, and he's given a really kind of sad storyline, and I really like it. So yeah, just take a look. This does have the dust jacket. This is the hardcover. I think this is some Rags Morales art, who does a really good job. And yeah, it just looks really good on these oversized pages. This is still in print, but it was going for very cheap on eBay. There was a retail seller out in California, so I was actually able to get this for about $35 plus $5 shipping. So that's a really good deal if you can still find it. If that's cheap enough, yeah, like I said, well worth it. And it is kind of a polarizing storyline, definitely, but I like it, and like I said, it involves my favorite character. And I just want to show like my favorite little panel towards the end here. Like, it looks so good on these pages, and hopefully I'll meet Rags again so he can sign it, because I loved it so much. This little panel towards the end with Ray kind of shrinking into nothingness. Really emotional stuff, and I was glad to grab this for as cheap as I did. So, yeah, that's it for my first haul video. Those are my trade-ups. The next one will be all paperbacks, and I guess 2 standard size hardcovers I got here. And then the third and final one will be oversized hardcovers, deluxe editions, omnibus, stuff like that. So I do have some books coming in the mail right now, based on in-stock trades history. They'll be here next week-ish. So I'm going to get this published as soon as I can. Expect to see the trade one in a couple days, and the hardcover one sometime around next week. And then I should be all caught up on comic hauls. I'd like to do another spotlight video whenever I have the chance. I have so many new comics I've read, so I like to get them out there. And I think once I'm done, I have 2 books that I finished. I'm not going to do videos for because of I was borrowing them and actually gave them back already. And they were just sort of side books too. So I'm currently in the middle of The Princess Bride, so that'll probably be my next book review video. Whenever that's done, I'm going to say about 2 weeks, hopefully. And yeah, if you have any questions about these books or anything else, come check me out on my blog, myprivatelibrary.tumblr.com. Like and subscribe. And I guess that's it. See you guys later.